Have you ever noticed that the larger the crowd becomes, the easier it is to assume someone else will do something? Psychologists have actually studied this for decades. They call it the bystander effect, the tendency for people to become less likely to help someone in need when they believe someone else will step in. In other words, the crowd can actually decrease compassion. And I couldn't help but wonder, has the volume of this conversation made us assume someone else will carry the responsibility? Someone else will advocate. Someone else will pray. Someone else will serve. Someone else will care. Someone else will speak up. Over the last several weeks, our feed have been filled with conversations about immigration, elections, enforcement, and policy. Every headline seems to demand that we should take a side. But before we decide on what position we're going to take, I think we first have to ask, what is shaping our posture? Are convictions being shaped by fear? Are they being shaped by frustration, by our preferred news source, or by the heart of God? Can I show you a miracle that happened because Jesus refused to let the crowd decide who deserved his attention? Yesterday, we talked about how movement has always been part of God's story. Today, I want to show you something that completely changed the way I read one of the most familiar stories in the Gospels. Because I think many of us have been focused on destination and we've overlooked what happens along the way. Imagine this. A synagogue leader named Jeriele comes to Jesus. His daughter is dying. He falls at Jesus' feet and begs him to come. Jesus says yes, and they begin walking. Now, if I'm Jeriele, I'm thinking one thing. Let's go. My daughter doesn't have much time. Don't stop. Don't get distracted. But Jesus does something remarkable. He stops because hidden in the crowd is a woman. She's been bleeding for 12 years. 12 years of isolation, 12 years of rejection, 12 years of carrying a burden that no one else seemed to be able to lift. She reaches for the hem of his garment, and in that moment, everything changes. Here's what I've been thinking about. Jesus never treated compassion like an interruption. He treated it like part of the assignment. The miracle at Jairus' house still happened, but so did the miracle in the crowd. Jesus made room for both. I wonder how many times we've become so committed to go to where we're going that we've missed the people God placed along the way. How many opportunities to reflect Christ have we overlooked because it wasn't on our agenda? How many people have we unintentionally walked past because they didn't deserve our attention because they were not on our timeline and they were not a priority for us? As I've been praying through everything happening in our community, I keep coming back to this story because it's reminding me that people are never interruptions to God. They're the reason he came. Every headline eventually has his face. Every policy eventually reaches a family. Every debate eventually touches someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's father. And Jesus has never lost sight of that. Maybe that's what he's inviting us to recover. Not just the ability to have strong opinions and strong convictions, but the discipline to stop, to notice, to listen, to care. Because sometimes the greatest miracle isn't waiting at the destination. Sometimes it's found in the person standing quietly in the crowd, hoping someone will finally see them. So before we move on to the next headline or the next debate, maybe we should ask ourselves one simple question. Who have I stopped seeing? And I'll see you in the next conversation.